a young girl's father, sails into the ocean only to vanish beneath the gentle waves. Her despair gives way to determination, and using her own craft, she sets off to find him, no matter what mysteries she uncovers or what dangers she faces in the darkening deep. Song of the Deep is a 2D action-adventure game. In it, you play as Marin, a young girl who takes off in a homemade submersible to try and find her father who disappeared beneath the ocean. As the game begins, you'll find yourself exploring a variety of underwater environments, using the tools mounted on your sub to either remove obstacles or solve puzzles. As you explore, you'll occasionally find treasure or collectibles, and as you clear your way through an area, you'll often encounter enemies that need to be defeated as well. Defeating opponents rewards you with money, and you can use this cash to repair your ship or buy upgrades at the shops you encounter in various levels. And eventually, when you reach the end of a section, you'll often encounter a boss monster that needs to be defeated in order to progress. Now, the game also has minor Metroidvania elements. As you explore early on, you'll often encounter barriers you can't bypass or puzzles that you can't solve. Defeating bosses will typically reward you with new pieces of equipment that you can strap onto your sub that give you new special abilities, allowing you to access areas that were previously locked off. Now, there's a lot to like in Song of the Deep. For starters, the presentation is very nice. It's got a great relaxing soundtrack, it's got bright colorful levels filled with all manner of unusual flora and fauna, strange monsters and enemies. The pacing of the game is also really good. It does a great job with its Metroidvania elements. Early on, you can only really float around and use your grappling claw to pick things up in the environment, but then it slowly starts introducing more utility and combat abilities. Eventually you'll be throwing bombs and firing torpedoes at your opponents, or even leaving your sub so that you can swim around and explore secret areas. The game also has really good variety, both in terms of your sub and its available upgrades, as well as enemies and environments, each which carry their own unique hazards and obstacles. The gameplay overall is quite excellent, and I only have one real complaint about Song of the Deep, and that is that the difficulty curve drops off noticeably once you unlock torpedoes. Basically, in the first half of the game, you're mostly using your grappling claw to fight enemies in melee combat, which requires a level of dexterity to move and get into position and make sure that you're not being hit by the enemy at the same time. But once you unlock torpedoes, you don't have to worry about positioning, and because it's underwater, you can move in any direction you want, which gives you a crazy amount of mobility when it comes to fighting your opponents. And the result is that even for somebody of my average skills, the combat difficulty drops noticeably. Still, in the end, I would give Song of the Deep 4 out of 4 stars and my recommendation. It's a tight, well-designed Metroidvania with charming visuals and an adorable little story as well. If you're a fan of action-adventure or Metroidvania games, this is a great casual little pickup that probably won't take you too long to complete. This is also a good choice if you're new to the genre or if you want an action game that isn't quite so punishing to finish. Alright, well, that's all for me today. You stay hydrated. I'll see you next time.